Hello, guys. Welcome back to another exciting episode on the show. I'm so happy to have you guys here today. And you guys know I only bring wonderful guests to the show. Our guest today is Solange Schwab. I hope I got that correctly.
Solange Schwalbe.
Oh, you are French.
It is
Are you-
French.
Okay, Solange Schwabi. Yeah,
Very,
our guest today is an Emmy Award winning motion picture sound editor whose Hollywood career spans more than 3 decades and more than 175 film credits. She has worked behind the scenes on iconic productions, including The Goonies, Gremlins, Die Hard, wow, Pirates of the Caribbean, wow, Black Hawk Down, Moneyball, and HBO's John Adams, for which she and her team received an Emmy Award for sound editing. Wonderful. But I guess today our story extends far beyond Hollywood. After the September 11 attacks, 9/11, she traveled to New York City initially, volunteering with the Salvation Army before becoming a safety monitor inside the pit at Ground Zero. She spent 4 months there alongside firefighters, police officers, and construction crews. One of only four women among more than 1,500 responders. Wow. Her memoir, I'm Not Supposed to Know This, an unlikely account of Ground Zero after the 9/11 attacks, takes readers inside an experience few people ever witnessed firsthand. Today, we are going to talk about Hollywood, service, courage, Ground Zero, and the human stories behind one of the most significant recovery efforts in modern history. Solange Schwalbe, welcome to the show.
I thank you so much. It's a privilege being here. Thank you so much, Darlington.
Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed that introduction.
I did indeed.
Okay, so I have some questions here for you, and I would like us to get into them. So, before we get to Ground Zero, take us back to the beginning. Where were you raised, and what drew you into motion picture sound editing?
I was raised in Los Angeles, California. I went to UCLA Film School where I learned what sound editing meant. When you go to the movies, everything you hear is added or replaced. None of it is original except the dialogue. So I learned in post-production how to add layers and layers and layers of sounds to what it is you're looking at because they recorded it in production in total silence. So we are the ones who add all the sounds in, all the cars and the motors, explosions, weapons, everything is added afterwards. And that's what I do. I got it. My first movie was Goonies, Gremlins, and then I went on to The Color Purple, and then Die Hard, Lethal Weapons, et cetera, et cetera. And I have 175 feature box office credits in a 32-year career.
Wow. Honestly, you have done sound editing on so many famous movies. How is that possible?
I'm a subcontractor in feature films. When I work on a movie, I'm hired for that movie. And when I'm done, they let us go. So I get my next movie. And when you work with fabulous crews and top-notch supervisors and producers and directors, if your work is good, they keep hiring you back. They hire you over and over and over again. And I was so lucky to work with top-notch producers, directors, and sound supervisors.
Okay, so you spent more than 3 decades working on some of Hollywood's biggest productions. What is it about sound that makes such a powerful difference in how we experience these films? Because most of these films, we feel the emotion because of the sound.
Correct. That is absolutely correct. Try to watch a movie without sound. Go home, put on a movie, no sound, and you'll see why what we do makes a difference. We add to the story. We are the story and we are the emotion.
Okay, so Where were you on September 11, 2001? And what was going through your mind in the weeks that followed?
I was working on a movie at Disney called Snow Dogs with Cuba Gooding Jr. And we had just started. And when the towers were hit, I was sleeping. My alarm went off, and I heard on the news the towers have been hit. I don't remember turning on the television so fast. When I witnessed the second tower being hit on live television. It was a total nightmare. I have never seen anything more atrocious in my life than watching the towers be hit, burn, and fall. It was awful. All day, I watched over and over and over again with the Twin Towers being destroyed. At 4 o'clock that afternoon, a whole bunch of us went back to Disney. Even though the studio was closed, we went back to Disney and decided to work because none of us wanted to stay home and watch this horrendous atrocity happen over and over and over again. So we all came to work. In the weeks after, because I go to New York City every year for Christmas, in the weeks after, I did not want to go to New York City for Christmas that year. I did not want to see the skyline compromised. I did not want to see it without the towers. The next movie I worked on was called Black Hawk Down. And after Black Hawk Down, it was time to go to New York. My best friend in New York City convinced me to come over. And I'm like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And they kept insisting. And so I finally went, and I ended up looking at the towers from the top of the Empire State Building, and they were gone. It was nothing but a brightly lit, what looked like a football field. It was really well lit, and it was at ground level. It was awful. They were at street level by Christmas time. They had taken the pile, which was 10 stories high, and they had dug through it all the way down to street level. And that's where they were at Christmas time. And so I was in New York City for Christmas of 2001.
Wonderful. So you eventually traveled to New York that Christmas. Okay. What compelled you to go there other than simply watching the events unfold from home? Aside your friends, did you have interest of going there?
I was just going for Christmas to spend Christmas with my friend's family. And after Christmas, we went down to the site itself, and I started taking pictures of nothing, of what used to be there. And I said, this is ridiculous. I need to volunteer. See if Red Cross or Salvation Army is taking volunteers. Salvation Army is feeding the rescue workers. So I signed up. I got trained, and I was in the respite center for 2 weeks as a volunteer feeding the rescue workers, because I didn't have a movie to go to. As a subcontractor, there was no movie for me in Los Angeles, so I decided to stay.
Okay, so you initially volunteered with the Salvation Army. Tell us how that experience eventually led you to working inside the pits at Ground Zero.
Well, that's a very funny story. As I was finishing my time with the Salvation Army, this gentleman comes up to me and says, I've been watching you for the last week, and I really like the way you interact with the rescue workers. You want a job? And I went, excuse me, but I'm a sound editor in feature films. I don't belong here. He said, I can train you. OSHA has Whopper confined space. It's that mouth of yours. I was like, excuse me? He said, yeah, you can talk to anybody. So he hired me as a safety monitor in the pit of Ground Zero. It was an unbelievable experience. 4 months I was in the pit of Ground Zero.
Wonderful, wonderful. So how did you become what exactly did that role involve? The role of a safety monitor?
As safety monitor, I worked in World Trade Center 6. We worked underneath the debris pile, which made it a confined space. No air, no way out. The crew that worked down there, the drillers that worked down there, needed to be inspected every single morning that they came into work. I had to make sure they were wearing hard hat, safety glasses, ear protection, respirator, flashlight, steel-toed boots, gloves. Everything they had to be inspected head to toe before they would pass inspection to be able to work in World Trade Center 6. And the other job we had was monitoring the environment. We would walk all the way through the corridors, all the way through the building, the lower levels of the building, checking air, carbon monoxide, gas, and explosives. 24 hours a day. We had to check the environment 24 hours a day. So I was monitoring the safety work, the rescue workers, and monitoring the environment.
Okay. So you were one of the only 4 women among more than 1,500 responders. What was that experience like, and how did the men working alongside you respond to your presence?
We were all there for one reason. Everybody was treated the same. It didn't matter where you were, where you're from, what country, what religion, what race, what color, what creed, what sex. None of it mattered. We were all treated the same. It was really quite the experience of human spirit. We didn't know at the time that there were only 4 women in the pit. I did not find that out until years later. So we didn't know we were it.
Wonderful. So, after spending 4 months inside Ground Zero, what is one moment, a person or experience that has stayed with you all these years?
Well, there's so many, but one of the main experiences that has remained with me all these years is the people. The people that I have, the friendships that I have maintained have become my 9/11 family. We are family. We see each other once a year now during the memorial. And what gets me is that I would never have met any of these people if it wasn't for the attacks of 9/11. I find that very hard to deal with. I find that they call it survivor guilt. The fact that we all met because of 9/11 is devastating. And I can't imagine being without these people. I can't even imagine for a minute being without this family of mine that I have acquired throughout all these years. We get to see each other once a year, and I'm here in New York City now for the 9/11 memorial. And I've come early for a book tour for my book. And I am staying with my friends, my 9/11 friends, family. The other profound thing about that has stayed with me are the processions. Every body that was recovered, every whole body that was recovered in the pit got a procession up the ramp and into the ambulance. The procession was they would put the body in a white body bag. They put all the gear, the helmet, anything else they found in a red biohazard bag. And then they put a flag over the basket. And then pallbearers would carry the basket up the ramp. They would do a prayer at the bottom of the ramp. They would do a slow procession up to the top of the ramp. And they would do another prayer at the top of the ramp, put the basket in an ambulance, which took it to the morgue. So when there was a whole body recovery, the whole pit shut down for the procession.
Wonderful. So, I think that experience is something when you try to describe it to somebody, they might not be able to understand or get it fully well, except they were present, right?
Correct.
Okay, so What did working at Ground Zero teach you about courage that you didn't understand before September 11?
The ability to face your fears has been tested at Ground Zero. I didn't know I could do what I did. A lot of people quit after a week. They couldn't handle it. And I was able to stand above the atrocities of mankind and help with the cleanup efforts of and the recovery efforts. It was extraordinary. It was beyond the human spirit is beyond a dated. It's hard to explain. There's just no words that could explain the power of the human spirit and the survival of what it takes to be in the pit of Ground Zero. No one knew. No one knows. No one knows what it's like to be in the pit of Ground Zero because there was no public, no press, no nothing. It was just us and nothing else. So my book, I'm Not Supposed to Know This, is about the day-to-day life in the pit of Ground Zero, of what it was like to be in the pit on a daily basis. No one has written about that. I'm the first one.
How are you so sure that you are the first one?
Well, I'm not so sure. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not too sure. Everybody's writing about the attacks and the conspiracy theories, but I haven't seen anything about the day-to-day life in Ground Zero in the pit.
Okay, so what does the title mean of your memoir?
I'm not supposed to know this. I'm not supposed to know what it's like to be in devastation, in demolition. I'm not supposed to know what a grappler is and what Freon is. I'm not supposed to know what the elements of recovery are. I'm not supposed to know this. I'm a sound editor in feature films. I had no right being there. I did not belong there. I'm not supposed to know this.
That's true though. So when people remember September 11, they only focus on the attacks themselves. Honestly, for me, I only focus on the attacks, and the only thing I know was seeing a plane crash into the towers and seeing people running out helter skelter and all. What do you wish people understood about the recovery efforts and the thousands of people who came afterwards to help?
Okay, ask me again. What was the question again?
What do you wish people understood about the recovery efforts and the thousands of people who came out to help?
What I wish people would understand is the human spirit of what it took to be able to find bodies and body parts every day and survive and not. It affected all of us. It affected all of us. If anyone says to you, oh, I just blew right through it, they're lying. It affected every one of us. To find bodies and body parts every day was impossible. But we did it and we survived, most of us anyway. And there are more people now that have died from 9/11 related illnesses than the people who were murdered that day on 9/11. There were only almost 2,800 people that were murdered that day. And now we have almost 5,000 people that have died since of 9/11 related illnesses. So we're all suffering. We are all suffering.
So you are trying to say that people who came out to rescue, they became ill and they died.
As we speak.
What type of illness is that? Is it the shock?
What type of illness? Say it again. What type of illness?
Yeah. What type of? Is it they became ill? Those who came to rescue, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the nature of their illness? Is it shock? Is it the shock?
What kind of illness? Oh, cancer. There are 49 cancers associated with 9/11. Blood poisoning, respiratory, brain cancer, brain tumors, and cysts, and just incredible amounts of illnesses all related to 9/11. I have what I call a ground zero cough. It's from the throat, and it has absolutely nothing to do with my day-to-day life. I am not sick. I am fine, but I have a cough that will not stop. And if I get throat cancer, I'm going to be very upset.
Wonderful. I think this part, many people are not aware. People are not aware about this part, honestly. Are all this in your book? Hi, Solange. Do you have all this in your book?
Say it again. What's in my book?
Do you have all this explanation, the sickness and everything that people suffered, those who came to rescue? Do you have this information in your book?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I have friends right now who have blood poisoning and respiratory disease. He's had 9 heart attacks, and he is in a scooter. He cannot walk, and he can barely breathe. And yet he's still alive. It's really amazing. He's a miracle. He's a walking miracle. He's my miracle.
Wonderful. Okay, so what do you hope someone takes away after reading your book or hearing your story for the first time?
An understanding of what it was like to be there, an understanding of the resilience, the human spirit, the courage that it took to clean up Ground Zero, 9/11, after the attacks, and how hard it was, how difficult it was, and how it affected so many of us.
All right. Solange, thank you. The story reminds us that history isn't only made by the people whose name appear in the headlines. It's also shaped by the ordinary people who step forward when they are needed, serve alongside strangers, and carry experiences that most of us will never fully understand. From Hollywood sound stages to the pit at Ground Zero, you have lived two very different worlds, and both have given you a unique perspective on storytelling, humanity, and the power of service. So, for those who would like to connect with you, learn more about what you do, and get your book, how can they do that?
Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, book something.com, book. I blanked on my third one, and amplify.com. Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, amplify.com, and my website is www.imnotsupposedtoknowthis.com. And you can order off the website. The book came out 2 days ago.
Wonderful.
Or was that
Okay.
yesterday? I think the book came out yesterday.
All right. Thank you so much, Solange. And my audience as well. I love you guys so much. Make sure to check out our work, check out our book. And I'm very sure most of you are just sharing about this story for the first time, just like me. And if this is you, share this episode with someone out there who might need to hear this. And I think you all should also try and get the book to see the bigger picture of what Solange witnessed firsthand. Yes, this is like an eyewitness reporting right now for a very popular event that we all know, the world knows, 9/11. So this is an opportunity for you to see 9/11 from a different aspect. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
It's been great. I really thank you so much for having me. I'm very grateful.
All right, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye, guys. Thank
Bye.
you so long.
Thank you, Darlington.